What's up guys, Jeff Cavaliere, ATHLEAN-X.com. What you're about to watch is going to be the most effective leg workout you've ever done. How do I know that? Because I'm going to get you to focus on effective reps, which are the very ones that Arnold himself said lead to the most muscle growth. Well, what if there's a way for us to get to these more effective reps more quickly? In other words, with less wasted effort along the way. Well, that's where the 100 workout series steps in, and in this case, the 100 leg workout. You see, here we're going to hit both the anterior and posterior chain, quads, and glutes and hamstrings, and we're going to do it with our first exercise up here, and it's the dumbbell Bulgarian split squat. And as is the case in all the 100 workout series, we're going to kick off this workout with a set we call the ignition set. And in this case, the goal is to choose a weight that will cause you to fail in the 8-rep range. Now, as in this ignition set, they'll likely be reminded of just how easy those first few repetitions are in a set, even one that goes to 8. But they serve a very important point in this workout. They're going to set the stage for those more stimulus-inducing, growth-inducing repetitions that will come after this point. And it's at this point that I actually take my first rest pause. Just 15 seconds rest, and now the workout begins. Because that ignition set only served to pre-fatigue the muscles, to prime them for what's going to happen next. And what happens next is pretty damn grueling. Your job here is to focus on just that one leg at this point and try to get 15 effective reps. In other words, every rep that occurs from this point forward is going to count towards those 15. How you get there? Well, that's up to you, because you're likely going to have to rest a few times along the way. And that's fine as long as you keep this rest to a minimum at just 15 seconds each time. Keep chipping away until you've reached your effective rep total of 15, and remember to hit your other leg with your ignition set and get to those 15 reps as well. Now for the next exercise, we're going to shift our focus to the posterior chain and get a little bit of a much needed reprieve for the quads. And at this point, the exercise of choice is going to be the Barbell RDL. And once again, we're going to choose a weight that causes failure, but this time at the 12 rep range. Now the key to the Barbell RDL is to make sure that you're just softening your knees enough to allow the bar to drop just below knee level. Hinge back at the waist to do this properly. All too many times I see people bend forward at the waist, allowing the bar to drift forward. That can put some unnecessary strain in your low back that just doesn't have to be there. Let the bar ride your knees on the way down and stay close to your body, and do that through the proper hinge. Now at this point, I want to take that short, brief 15-second rest once again. Remember, don't go too far away, because you're going to have to pick this thing back up in 15 seconds and get rolling once again. Due to the fact that we have a higher ignition set rep goal of 12, we're going to also have a higher effective rep total of 20. Remember to keep chipping away in rest pause fashion until you hit all 20 effective repetitions. And at this point now, we shift our focus back to the anterior chain with one of my favorite exercises of all time, barbell or dumbbell, and it's the dumbbell reverse lunge. And again, the dumbbells are the option of choice here because I can easily dump them when I fail. I don't have to worry about getting under a bar or back under a bar in order to do this quickly. So I have my dumbbells and I go alternating fashion, right and left leg, and at this point I have to admit, it is damn brutal. But once again, like the first exercise, the ignition set rep goal is 8. Now once I've reached that failure mark, I get into that 15-second rest pause as always. And I get myself right back into the exercise again to start repping out. The effective rep total once again is 15 like it was in the first exercise, remembering to do it on both the right and left leg. A little additional pro tip for those that find balance challenging on this exercise, think about stepping back and out to widen your base of support. All too often people step in line with their feet, and that doesn't give you a chance to balance properly. And what I also do is take a little bit of a twist over that front knee, which will also give you additional support and balance when you need it the most. And that brings us to the fourth exercise in the workout, and this time back to the posterior chain for the cable pull-through. And the great thing about this variation is that it's going to actually make sure you get the hinge right. So if you struggle with the hinge on the Barbell RDL, this is going to make sure you get it right, potentially even when you're most fatigued here. You're just going to step far enough away and let the hands drop back in place to take your body back into that hinge. As long as you're just unlocking at the hips and allowing them to drop back, the hinge is going to happen. Now when you drive forward, the goal is simply just to use your glutes to squeeze you forward and not think at all about pulling on the ropes. My target ignition set number once again is going to be 12, so you're picking that weight that causes the failure at the 12 rep range, and again it leads right into that first rest pause. And as I come out of the rest pause, what am I trying to target once again? 20 effective reps. Continue to chip away until you've reached all 20. And if you've been counting all along, at this point you've got 70 effective reps performed. But if you're going for 100, that means you've still got 30 left. We've got some work to do. And for that, I'm going to throw one unique exercise at you that's going to hit the quads in a way you've never felt before. It's actually called the Spanish squat, but it's oftentimes done unloaded, or at least with nothing other than a band. But we can make it a lot more difficult. We do that by holding a set of dumbbells as well. And what we do here, guys, is anchor the band around the back of your knees. And you want one that provides pretty good resistance. And you step back to the point where you're resisting leg extension. In other words, this is a way to do resisted leg extension in a closed chain fashion. Now, if you don't have access to a band and you want to perform a leg extension, you guys know how I feel about that. I don't really like it. But if your knees are okay and you can do it, then go ahead and slide that into the spot. But for me, I'd rather see you do this. And with the additional weight, we challenge the squat portion of this, but more importantly, the band is resisting that terminal knee extension that really will light up your quads. The effective rep total is 8. And believe me, if you do this exercise right, you're not going to require a really heavy set of dumbbells as long as you have a good resistance on that band. And with 8, the ignition set target, remember the effective rep total here is going to be 15. See if you can grind your way through these. And I mean grind your way through these because these are going to burn you up like never before. And of course, no leg workout will be complete without working on that portion, below the knees. And here we got to focus on our calves. And of course, I always think people focus way too much on their gastroc and not enough on their soleus, and there's a big difference. You need to find an exercise that allows you to perform it with the knee bent. And for us, we can easily do a dumbbell seated calf raise. Grab a pair of dumbbells, put them on your knees, and sit at the end of a bench with your feet balanced on a plate. The plate's going to allow you to get a good stretch at the bottom of every repetition. And at the top, of course, I want to pause and hold. The key for me to doing calf exercises effectively is to not just get that good peak contraction and squeeze at the top, but allow for a prolonged stretch at the bottom. Because what that will do is actually diminish some of the ballistic capabilities of the Achilles tendon, making the muscle itself do more of the work to initiate the up contraction. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that with a weight that causes failure, again in the 8 rep range. So with 8 reps to target, after we take this first rest pause, your pursuit of 15 effective reps will begin. And just as we've done throughout the rest of the workout, your job is not complete until you've achieved that last of the 15 effective reps on this exercise. Now, while I can't do the workout for you or make it any easier that way, I can make following the workout a hell of a lot easier. And we do that like this, by laying this workout out step by step, rep by rep, and allowing you to take a screenshot that you could take to the gym with you. Now look, I get it. Leg training is really damn difficult. But if you find that you're having a hard time getting back into the exercise, you can extend that rest time in your rest pauses by a few extra seconds. But the more you can keep towards the 15 seconds, the more you're honoring the spirit of what I put together for you. Speaking of that, if you're looking for workouts, guys, you can find them over at ATHLEAN-X.com. If you're looking for a whole series, a playlist of all the 100 workouts, I'll link that for you right here. If you haven't done so, make sure you click subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll never miss a video when we put one out. All right, guys, good luck. You're going to need it. See ya.